straight to Elitz with the paper. She's starting something completely different today. This is a UK report. It has uncovered the biggest childbirth scandal in the history of the National Health Service. What have you found in the British press then?
That's right, Stuart. It's been dubbed the Nottingham maternity care scandal. And I want to start with The Guardian here that writes that the report reviewed 2,500 cases between 2012 and 2025, and it found, quote, a deeply rooted and systemic failures in the NHS system sustained over many years. So, for example, women and families were constantly ignored when they raised their fears and anxieties, and women of color and teenage moms felt especially targeted and ignored. Chronic understaffing was also another main factor that contributed to this crisis. And finally, the review uncovered that huge psychological harm was caused in post-death care. And the Times here adds that more than 500 babies and mothers died or suffered serious harm due to those systemic failures that we mentioned, and doctors and managers could now be jailed. The board and leaders were aware of what's happening but turned a blind eye for more than a decade, writes The Times. But The Telegraph here reports that parents fear that without an actual public inquiry, those that are responsible for the biggest maternity scandal in the UK may never be held accountable. And finally, I want to show you this analysis here by the BBC, and that says that the report reveals the shocking extent of the mistakes that were made. And BBC explains that much of the harm and many of the deaths could have been avoided, but the NHS has struggled to adjust to the modern era, says the BBC, caring more about its reputation than delivering safe healthcare. So the BBC writes that it needs a sustained and meaningful cultural shift in order to continue forward.
Next, let's go to the European heatwave. Of course, we've all been covering. What have you found in the papers today on this?
Yeah, well, I want to start with Al Jazeera here that compares European temperatures to temperatures that we usually see in the Middle East. Like, for example, Paris yesterday reached 41 degrees, making it 1 degree hotter than Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And the usually rainy Brussels reached 37 degrees Celsius yesterday, making it hotter than Cairo, Egypt. So if you think that you cannot sustain a holiday there, well, you can. We're stronger than this. Berlin, 33 degrees compared to Kabul, Afghanistan, that was at 32 degrees yesterday. And Al Jazeera writes that climate change is making heat waves like these in Europe way more frequent and more intense and likely to occur earlier or later in the year. And indeed, Le Figaro here reports that it is not the end of the hot season for this summer. And although temperatures are expected to drop next week, weather agencies warn that there's a high probability that starting from the 10th of July, we will see a return of the extreme heat with another heat wave.
Oh, thank goodness. That's all we need. Let's move to some science news now. New extraordinary pictures. They're showing the very heart, the very centre of the Milky Way.
Yeah, and France Info reports that the image quality is unprecedented for such a vast area of the sky. So let's take a look at two of these photographs here. They were shot by the European Space Agency with the Euclid telescope. And France Info explains that taking the images took, quote, only 26 hours, but that's apparently not that much for such a vast area. And the data now allows scientists to take a fresh look at exoplanets in the region. So this one is my favorite. It really looks like a glitter made out of stars.
Amazing. It looks like some sand or something. Absolutely beautiful images there. And finally, speaking of stars, corny link now time, pop star Taylor Swift is getting married to Travis, I don't even know how to say it, Kelce?
Yeah, Kelce. That's
See,
right.
not up on these things. Very soon, apparently.
I see that you're a big fan, Stuart.
Massive, yeah.
Big Swiftie.
I
Yeah.
go home and listen every afternoon.
It could happen any day now. And the LA Times here says that clues point to the 3rd of July
Okay.
for the wedding date. So mark that in your calendars. We're going to have a special news here at France. Well, I'm joking. And reports say that the reception may take place at Madison Square Garden in New York. And maybe they will have another bit more intimate and smaller wedding. But these are all like predictions. We aren't sure. And actually, prediction markets are buzzing with gamblers and Swifties alike, betting on all the wedding details there, like what the venue will be, what will she wear, other stuff like this. The guest list, apparently there's a hot drama when it comes to the guest list. And the hottest bet is on whether she will walk the aisle pregnant or not. $2 million in bets right there, and only 2% of the people who betted on that said that she will be pregnant. So if they are right, they will make a lot of money. So yeah.
Presumably you have to wait for a couple of months to find out who's right and who's wrong as well.
Oh, and maybe she's like already a bit pregnant, Stuart.
Who knows? Or she could be hiding it, I suppose.
Well, it's
Yeah.
another mega star wedding after the one that we had with Dua Lipa. I hope that you followed this.
Of course I followed it every step of the way.